Hi, I'm Olivia, aka Biblioghoul, and this week I'm going to be reading some books for Blackathon, and every day I will be doing the vlog challenges for the day. So Blackathon is hosted by Jessie from Bow Ties with Books, so I will leave Jessie's channel below and all of the other hosts as well. Because I own Beloved, I'm going to start off with this and really take my time this week getting into Beloved. I'm already listening to How Beautiful We Were, so I'll probably listen to that more this week. And I'll check back in with you tomorrow. So it is day 2 of Blackathon, and that means that I'm going to take a second to share some of my favorite books by Black authors. There are a lot of favorites, so this is just some books that I had on my shelf. The first one is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. I had to read this for an English class, and I wasn't generally good at things in English classes, but I did really love reading this book. So actually talking about this without thinking about it beforehand probably does the book a huge disservice, but the main thing that I loved about this book is the language, how beautifully it's written, the main character Janie's journey to find her identity and love, and there's a freedom about this book. I don't know, about the way Janie carries herself and lives her life. If you haven't read this book, I strongly suggest you check it out. I'm probably due for a reread of it since it's been so long. But another book that I loved in college was Citizen by Claudia Rankine. Claudia Rankine is wonderful, and I will read anything she writes. As you can, I don't know if you can kind of see, but this book has all kinds of different formats. I love things that have a poetic lyrical quality to them and have all different forms of media. The way it is written is very intimate, and it kind of goes through all of the little microaggressions and conversations about race and things that Claudia Rankine is dealing with on a daily basis in life, from huge news stories that she's reflecting on to just small conversations with friends. The next 2 books I read last year, so they're a little more fresh in my mind. So the first one is We Do This Till We Free Us by Mariame Kaba. If you're like me and you read a lot of anti-racist literature, but you wanted to go beyond learning history and you wanted to think about the future, I recommend this book. It talks about abolition, answers some of the huge questions that everybody always asks with abolition, but it talks about our need to punish people in our society, and gives a bunch of examples of ways people are working through all of these big systems that we have in our society, and breaking them down and making them more intentional and more what we'd like to be. I mean, every page has a million little tidbits of knowledge in it, so it's really worthwhile. And the last book is Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon, and I think that Rivers Solomon is my new favorite author. Last year I also read The Deep, but I want to save some of their other works so that I'm not reading everything that they've written. Sorrowland is bizarre and kind of a mixture of a bunch of different genres. Sci-fi, horror, it's queer. The plot is that Vern grows up in a cult, and escapes the cult, and you follow Vern in the wilderness raising their 2 children, and then kind of becoming a part of the landscape and undergoing some body horror that I won't say much more about. And then it's about the corruption of cults and government and a lot more. But it's interesting because it has that critique, but then it also has kind of like a cottagecore vibe at some point, but like if cottagecore were like an extra level up to like forest core or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's an excellent book. You should read it.
Eddie Murphy.
Dark spirits from the grave, come forth.
Don't you make no dark spirits come out while I'm sitting there. Wait till I leave before the dark spirits come out.
The Haunted Mansion.
Hello, it's morning and I'm all dressed for work and everything, but I just wanted to talk about how last night this came. I had some free books on thrift books, and I just thought it was really like sweet and funny that The Color Purple by Alice Walker came the night before Alice's birthday. I also ordered Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell, and it's been a long time getting here, so I'm not going to read it for February, but it'll be kind of interesting to be thinking of snow and snowy cottages reading this book finally in March, but I'm happy they came, and I'll check in with you later. Hi, happy Friday. So I wanted to give an update on where I am. So I am about halfway through Beloved, and I am absolutely loving it. Nobody writes like Toni Morrison, but I'm trying to also take my time because every sentence is flawless. I also finally got my car back from being worked on because somebody hit me, and so my audiobook for How Beautiful We Were was in there, and now I'm over halfway through, but I probably would have been done if I had my car. I've also been listening to the 5th season at work, so I'm a little bit into that, but not too much. So Friday is my day off, so I popped over to the library and picked up some of the books that are on my TBR, as well as this movie, Daughters of the Dust, which was my day 3 movie to watch, a film directed by a Black director, but it didn't come in until last night. So I finally picked that up, and I'm planning to watch that either today or tomorrow, so I'll give you an update on that. I am going to see Death on the Nile tonight, so it might be tomorrow, but anyways, I've been wanting to watch this movie since I first heard that it existed. So this was actually the first feature by an African-American female director to receive a general release, and that came out in 1991. So I'll talk more about it when I end up watching it, but I am really excited for that. So I have 2 nonfiction books, The Belly of the Beast about anti-blackness and anti-fatness, and Revolutionary Power about other forms of energy. I don't know, I'm really bad at talking about these kinds of things, and that's why I want to read the book. But they're both under 200 pages, so hopefully I can get into at least one of them this weekend and talk more about that then. And then the last one I picked up was So Many Beginnings, which is a Black Little Women retelling. I've been consuming a lot regarding slavery recently, so I thought something like Little Women would be lighter. So yeah, since I didn't take the Black Media quiz that was supposed to be day 4 yesterday, I figured I'd take that now with you. So let me just look it up. Okay, so the first question is, in what year did Trevor Noah release Born a Crime? Which is hilarious because I got Born a Crime for Christmas and it's sitting on my shelf over there. And I have no idea what year it was published, and maybe I would if I had read it. So I don't know, I'm just gonna guess 2017. Let's see. Oh god, it was 2016. So off to a bad start. So the next question is, who was the first African American to publish a book of poetry? I actually know this fairly sweetly. I study history, and the place that I work has actually her writing desk and some other things in the archives related to her, and we're actually having an event about her next week. So yes, I definitely know this one. Yay, correct. So the next question is, what book did Lupita Nyong'o author? I actually don't know. I'm gonna guess As Warm as the Sun. I was wrong. So I have to look up what book it ended up being solely. So I'll have to look up that book and see what it's about. The next question is, who was the first Black artist to win a Grammy for Album of the Year? I'm gonna guess Stevie Wonder because he predates the answers of the other people. And the next question is, Madam C. Walker is the first Black woman self-made millionaire. What was her business? And I know this one too. It's hair care products. So it looks like I got 3 out of 5 right. That's kind of sad, but to be fair, one of them was a year. So yeah, this whole time Rocco has been pawing at me and trying to get on camera, so I'm gonna take him for a walk. Maybe I'll film a little clip of him going crazy outside. It is 55 degrees outside today, which is not normal for February in Massachusetts, so I definitely want to get outside, and then I'll do some more reading and catch up with you later.
Rocco, what you got, buddy? What do you got? Pine cone? Come here. Rocco, the pine cone.
Hi, so it is day 5, I think, and I just wanted to give an update. I didn't get to watch Daughters of the Dust last night because I went to see Death on the Nile, which was kind of underwhelming. But anyways, I got to watch Daughters of the Dust today, and it was really cinematically beautiful. I guess Beyonce was inspired for Lemonade by some of the outfits and settings of the movie. It's about a Gullah family off the coast, and they're trying to reconcile the different viewpoints in the family of if they should go to the mainland or not, and if they should adapt newer traditions or stick with what their family's been doing for years with like folk traditions and charms versus like Christianity. So yeah, that was Daughters of the Dust. I also finished Beloved today, and it was amazing. Another 5-star read from Toni Morrison. But I want to let everything sink in for like a day before I talk about it. So tomorrow maybe I will say a little bit about Beloved. I also was listening to the Horrror podcast that was the prompt for today, and enjoying some of those stories and interviews, anything from an old god rising to a creepy family recipe. So I'm not much of a podcast person, but I really enjoyed it, and I want to listen to more episodes of the podcast, especially since it's free. I've been listening to So Many Beginnings on audiobook as I did a bunch of chores today, and I just started The Belly of the Beast by Toni Morrison, which is thin, so I'm hoping to finish that this weekend before the end of the blog. It's really great so far. Toni Morrison is laying out the framework right now. I've only read the first 2 chapters. So far it's covering how body positivity is not enough. What we need is more the destruction of structures, and how things like desire, the way he's talking about them, aren't about like individual feelings, but more like the structures of what is considered desirable in our society, and how that affects things like discrimination and sexual violence against fat Black people. So yeah, I'll pop in again tomorrow and talk more about that.
Let's go, boys.
So I just finished The Belly of the Beast. It was a 4-star read for me. I felt like some topics I was already aware of. I had already thought about like the criminalization of Black bodies, and the exaggeration of like the size of Black bodies in the cases of like Mike Brown and Eric Gardner, when they were called like demons and seen as inhuman in that way. But Deshawn talks about that in this book. The book gets into how fatness was once associated with power, and how it's this moment in slavery and of anti-Blackness creates this negative association with fatness based on Blackness. But the chapter that I found insightful and something that I hadn't read before was the analysis of fatness, Blackness, and queerness or gender. Harrison talks about the expectation of non-binary people to be thin, and the discrimination that fat people face when trying to get top surgery. It might be more expensive, or there might be a push to lose weight for these surgeries. And Harrison ends the book by calling for people to go beyond abolition, with the argument that yes, we need to abolish all of these systems, but that a new system will inevitably be recreated if we're not digging deep into anti-Blackness and anti-fatness and other systemic issues. Also want to give a brief wrap-up of Beloved, and this book is masterful, and I know that every second of it will stick in my mind for a long time. I think Toni Morrison does a really wonderful job of capturing all of the characters' perspectives and thoughts and trauma that impacts how they go through life after being enslaved. There are a lot of really painful things unpacked in this book, and this book is really about the impossibilities or the tension of trying to find humanity and love within slavery, or in a world of slavery, in both freedom and with enslaved people that have run away, and also specifically thinking about motherhood and family and what it meant to build connections in a world where they could be violently destroyed in a wide variety of ways. So it's definitely a heart-wrenching read, but I really, really recommend it. It's an amazing book. So yeah, I'm still listening to some of the other books that I started, How Beautiful We Were and So Many Beginnings, and I'll keep listening to them. I'll probably keep vlogging for the next few weeks, but let me know if you're reading any other great books for Blackathon, or if you have read one of these books and had any thoughts on it. And if you are still watching, leave a pen emoji in the comments to show love for the icon Toni Morrison. And yeah, thanks for watching.